what to think, what to feel. We've just had the most wonderful day of Test cricket where we're all on the edge of our seats, and then we've had the most anticlimactic, disappointing finish. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. This is the Final Word Daily. I'm Cameron Ponsonby. I'm joined by Daniel Norcross. The show's brought to you by Noobru, the Think Drink, and Daniel's going to sum up today's play in 30 seconds.
Well, cricket didn't so much shoot itself in the foot today as find an entire arsenal of Kalashnikovs, take them all out and strafe the dead remains of W.G. Grace. They slaughtered the Ashes and turned it into tiny, tiny pieces, which Ashes already are, actually. They have wrecked what could have been one of the great moments in Test cricket history as India were piling pressure on harder and harder and harder on the English, who were wilting under extraordinary quantities of fear, concern, alarm, all of that stuff in a pulsating, a magnificent day. And then, because of the arbitrary nature of a 6:42 cut-off, as you can see behind us, we're talking to you at 6:20. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? It was quite a short downpour of about 10 minutes. They could have got out there. I've not told you anything about the game, have I? Suffice to say, it's bloody close. It was absolutely brilliant. The entire crowd were loving every minute of it. But they went, nah, I don't think we'll do it by 6:42. Maybe 6:45. Sorry. Go home, everyone. Come back tomorrow.
The
Bye.
state of play is England need 35 runs, chasing 374, was it for victory?
Correct!
India need 4 wickets left. They only need 3.5. Chris Woakes is going to bat
El Cid.
with a dislocated shoulder.
El Cid is going to walk out, not on a horse, but essentially dead, with an arm like this. We've seen what he's going to look like.
Yeah.
And now they're going to strap him up all over again.
So-
that didn't happen to El Cid.
For some of the younger viewers and listeners, who's El Cid?
El Cid was a very famous Spanish general, and he was killed in battle. And because it was so demoralising to his own troops and so moralising to his opponents,
Yeah.
they decided that they'd put him out on a horse and pretend he was still alive. And that is what Chris Woakes was going to be today. He was going to be alive but dead. Alive but dead.
Schrodinger's
And we never
Woakes.
got to see that. We might get to see it tomorrow, though, as we go to a 5th day for the 5th consecutive test, but in farcical and ludicrous circumstances.
So before we hit record, Daniel was very irritated and remains irritated once we've hit record.
Can
we're
you
not
tell?
finishing the game. I was kind of the opinion until the moments we did start recording, because I went, you know what? It really hammered down with rain here for about 2 minutes, and it did feel kind of fatal at that moment of time. However, we are now standing looking at the outfield. It is
Look at it! Look at it!
right.
It's dry as a bone! All they're going to do is take the bloody covers off.
And I do feel
It's
like-
really light as well. It's really light. Now, look, I know that England were batting at a glacial pace at that point. But realistically, this game needs no more than an hour to finish one way or the other. And there's not a cloud, apart from over there, in the sky.
Why don't we, rather than lament what we have lost,
Good point.
celebrate what we saw? And what we
Too
saw
right.
was a game where Ben Jones, friend and colleague, summarised it well on Twitter, now known as X, where he said at one point today, 200 runs needed to win looked like nothing, and now 35 looks like way too many. Joe Root and Harry Brook have scored 2 of the most wonderful, stupendous, exhilarating centuries today, and then once they both were removed, we've seen it impossible to bat. We've seen Harry Brook's got 111 off better than a run of ball. It was lunacism and lunacy. What is lunacism a word?
Well, it is now.
Lunacism to the nth degree. He got out playing. He lived by the sword. He died by the sword. Joe Root. A couple of days ago, Dan Norcross was like, he might play one of these 4th innings knocks where he just drops the ball into backward point and takes one. And he does it over and over and over again through sheer accumulation. Those two, they're ranked number 1 and 2 in the world for a reason. And they showed it today because they were the best batters in the world and they were cruising England towards a famous victory. Then,
Well, they're the best batters in the world where you don't count Indian batters, because all Indian batters are by nature superior to all other batters. But yes,
what about the ICC ranking?
Yeah, but they don't take into account the fact that Indians are already start with a natural superiority over everybody else. But yes, I take that point. I take that point. They are the best of the rest, and they were fantastic.
Once Brook got out, the game then changed. The fear returns to this run chase. Jacob Bethel arrives, playing only his second first-class game in about 7 years.
That's
He's at
not
number
true.
6.
That's not true, but it's
Well,
close enough.
It's the second of this year.
You said of the last 7 years.
Yeah, that's called
Yeah.
exaggeration.
Yeah. All right.
he was on 1 off 21.
He was.
He eventually is dismissed for, I think it's 6 off about 30.
He hit a beautiful 4 through cover point, and then, yes.
So he hits a beautiful 4 through cover point, charging the seamer at a time of need, at a time of desperation. He
Yep.
basballs it, and
Yep.
put pressure back onto the opponent. He then finds himself in that similar point of need, charges the seamer, pressed, bottom edge onto the stumps, middle stump out the ground. Then Joe Root goes 2 overs later, the ball's swinging around, and all of a sudden we have Jamie Overton and Jamie Smith doing their utmost to survive and creep England towards that total.
Yes, essentially, it was Yorkshire that got England into a very dominant position. It's going to have to be Surrey that finishes the job. And if you want a job doing, you've got to call Surrey to do it. Because it'll be the 2 Jamies and possibly Gus Atkinson tomorrow to make it happen. But what I want to do is, I want to spend a little bit of time marvelling at Mohammed Siraj. This man is an absolutely extraordinary cricketer. Is it 27 overs he's bowled in this innings now? It's an unbelievable number. They haven't even got to a second new ball yet. 26 overs. The team selection was rancid, really. Why there wasn't a Shardul Thakur, a 4th seamer, I don't know. England at least had 4 seamers, but one of them went down with a dislocated shoulder.
Sid's shoulder.
You needed a 4th seamer, or do you? If the likes of Prasid Krishna, Akash Deep, who actually found it a little bit more hard going as he went on, but the incomparable Mohammed Siraj, he is the last man standing. He is the last fast bowler standing, and he was he getting better and better? He was just getting equally brilliant as he has been, as he came in harder and harder, and it was both painful and miraculous to watch. Truly extraordinary. He turned the game just through his sheer bravery, it seemed to me. Because, look, when Harry Brook got out, and there'll be England fans who lament it. He hit 2 fours, and I said, the back of the commentary box, he's getting out this ball. Because once he's ticking like that, he's going to play a daft shot the next one. And he did. The bat flew out of his hand, just like Rishabh Pant. Caught playing a crazy shot. And Indian fans have been very familiar with this. They get frustrated with Rishabh Pant because they just want to see more of him. And England fans get frustrated with Harry Brook. Don't get frustrated with either of these players. They are gems. We are lucky to live in their time. Joe Root was playing the Joe Root innings we know he can do on a pitch that, incidentally, I did tell you was going to get easier and easier and easier, and it did get easier and easier and easier. And at that point, the game was done and dusted. Brook gets out, as you say, living by the sword, dying by the sword, and suddenly that gave a fillip to those Indian fast bowlers. They needed something because they'd only bowled 8 overs of so-called spin. I mean, Washington Sundar is a gentle away swing bowler. Doesn't really spin
8
it.
8 overs 0 for 41 between
8
Washington
overs 0 for 41.
Indra.
They were providing no respite for these 3 lions, these titans of the game, who just went above and beyond for their country. If India lose this test, and they may well not, tomorrow they may well grab those 4 wickets they need. But if they lose, I want every Indian fan and every Indian journalist to point no fingers at those 3 men, because they have gone beyond the call of duty on a flat deck. They were getting it to talk. A 74-year-old, might as well been, a 74-over-old ball, suddenly where it hadn't jagged was jagging. Suddenly where it hadn't swung was swinging. A pitch that had gone down to 1.9 out of 10, where the rating, the lower you get, the easier it is to bat. It was the easiest pitch to bat on you could have imagined. And yet they didn't make it look like that. It was fantastic theatre. It was incredible. I went up to talk to Joe Root's parents on the Corinthian roof terrace. And I'd basically been told by my producer, you won't be needed until the end of the game where you've got to fill. And I thought, with 40-odd needed, 45 needed, I'll go up there, I'll have a glass of wine, I'll come back down, I'll finish off my job for the day. No. I watched 5 leg byes and 2 singles in 35 minutes. And then the rain came, and for some ludicrous reason, just as this crowd was excited, just as those bowlers were bowling their hearts out, better than they'd bowled at any point perhaps in this test series, everyone was dragged off to come back tomorrow for half an hour. My question to you, Cameron Ponsonby, is, does that favour either side? Or are we coming back tomorrow and both sides will go, yeah, that's okay, we'll just resume? I feel that it must favour one side or the other, and I'm not quite sure which one.
Before we get there, I just want to highlight a little bit about Mohammed Siraj's kind of how his performance and his day kind of encapsulates the highs and lows and the great peaks. There was a word I wanted to use then. I couldn't quite work it out. Mohammed Siraj starts today, bowls the 4th over of the day to Ben Duckett. He beats him 5 times out of
5
6
times.
deliveries. He's bowling
Duckett has
over the
never been
wicket.
beaten 5 times in an over. And in fairness, most people haven't, because you can only be beaten
With
6 times in an over. But
he's bowling over the wicket, kind of swinging the ball into the left-hander's pads, nipping it away.
Yep.
He's single-handedly kind of, when the catch is eventually taken, he's revving up the crowd. There's another good point. Ben should have been on the show today because he made lots of good points on his Twitter profile. One of the great things about Mohammed Siraj is he's incapable of hiding his emotion.
No, it's lovely.
He's been the driving force of this Indian team who's revving up the crowd throughout the day. He is their talisman. He also potentially drops the series.
Oh, yeah.
When Harry Brook, at this point on like 19 or 20, plays a pull shot.
And by the
top
way,
edge.
it was after
Yeah.
he just hit a couple of 4s again.
He
It was
just
the rush
hit
of
a couple
blood.
of
It was the
4s.
4-4. Oh, I'll go again.
And you're watching the ball and you're sailing. You can always tell when when the batter's in trouble because the fielder settles, stops moving backwards. It's a case of this is out. The ball is not going for 6. The ball settles in the fielder's hands, and then from a distance, I'm head on the floor. Oh my God, Brook's out. There's still 250 to win. This is game over. Series drawn. What a disaster. And then, whilst Prasid Krishna has his hands in the air celebrating, it turns out rather than he's celebrating a wicket, he's signalling 6 because Mohammed Siraj has dropped back and stepped back onto the cushion. And in that moment, England have been given their life.
Tim Southey all over again.
It's Tim Southey all over again.
I've got a theory.
Yeah?
And I hate to say this,
No.
but he needed to go the Australian way. Because if you go the Australian way,
You give yourself
he
another
takes
yard,
an extra yard, and if you're watching on YouTube, you take it with your fingers pointing up, you have an extra yard.
Yeah.
Because he was back,
Yeah.
he took it the English way, and we all know the English way is pusillanimous, lickspittle nonsense. Everyone knows the English are repulsive individuals and dreadful human
Are
beings.
you okay today?
No, I'm just leading into the algorithm. Isn't that what everyone wants to hear? You know, I abase myself
Yeah.
in an apologetic, forelock tugging. But essentially, there is a truth to it in this sense, in that the English way of catching in front of your eyes
Yeah.
does cost you a metre. Now, normally, when cricket was first starting, no one really cared about that. Apart from us, there weren't any cameras, so people would take it. I bet they shot on the rope and they just said, "Oh no, I've got
absolutely.
it." I bet they did, because we know that they couldn't be trusted either. Whereas, if you take it now with the cameras, you've got to go fingers up. It gives you the extra yard, and he didn't. And I felt for him because, look, it felt at the moment that it happened that this could be problematic. Because Harry Brook, he's actually, joking aside, very good at batting.
Amazing.
I'm not quite sure what else he's good at, but I just don't know. I don't know the man. But he's very, very good at batting. And you don't want to be dropping him. In much the same way as England didn't really want to be dropping Yashasvi Jaiswal, which could yet come back to bite them.
True.
Because this game would have been done and dusted if they managed to do that yesterday. And from that moment on, that partnership was extraordinary. The two Yorkshiremen, it's not a Monty Python sketch. It's a terrifying prospect for countries around the world when they set targets of 370 plus. Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root, Harry Brook and Joe Root.
Joe Root and Joe Root.
Joe Root and Joe Root. Two Yorkshiremen in a big run chase spells no to other teams.
So to go back to your question of 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry, it was a while ago.
Who does this favour? We're coming back for what's in effect an hour to decide a series.
If that.
England need 35 runs. India need 4 wickets. I think Sid Monga from Cricket Info made a good point. England, because we come back tomorrow, it's a new day, get a chance to have the heavy roller on it. So
Heavy roller.
They can just make it a little bit more placid.
Because it is a
little
flat
bit
deck,
easier.
actually.
Oh, yeah, what is this? Is this a Crickviz rating of like 1.9 out of 10?
1.9 out of 10.
I'm not having that. Ball's going sideways. It doesn't matter what
They
the
were
pitch is doing, the
300 odd
ball's
for
swinging.
3.
Yeah, and then they weren't.
And then they were, but they weren't because it was all petrifying. And there was a big crowd. There were lots of Indian fans in who were superb today. They made an incredible amount of noise, and it utterly changed the atmosphere of the game, didn't it?
So I think, realistically, it suits England. It takes the kind of pressure and the fervour out of that moment where the fear was dominating. And I think before we move on to the break, something I find, this is not a criticism, this is an observation.
Yes.
This England team is built off the mantra of when things get tough, put it back on the opposition. When you're scared, run towards it, charge down that track, take the aggressive option. So in moments where such fine margins, where 3 boundaries gets it to below 20 runs to win, the game's over, there was some sort of fundamental cricket truth that emerged merged by England blocking the shit out of it. Because it's scary. It's horrible. The game's on the line. The
You're right.
series is on the line. And when it's 30 to win, you've got 4 wickets in hand, and you're there going, Jesus Christ, I cannot get out now. It would be a disaster. So what do? You leave it, you block it, you go to scamper 1, you go back. It's horrible. It's thrilling to watch. It's amazing. And I enjoyed that in that moment. The feeling, the fear.
The fear. Well, I was enjoying it. But you made a point that it was actually echoed by one of the players' mothers who said to me, this is going to work. This is exactly what they need. Stokesy, for that is his name, Stokesy and Baz are going to take them aside, take the 2 Jamies, the 2 Surrey Jamies. They're going to say, lads, calm down. When you go back out now, just twat it. Now, I think she's right, and I think they would be right to do that because they got exactly into that hole that pre-Bazball England had got, and current teams can sometimes do themselves when they're chasing large totals. Large totals are problematic because you go through all these phases. You get the fear when you lose a wicket. It all looks so easy at 301 for 3, but then you lose a wicket and you go, oh, hang on, Chris can't really bat. He's like 0.1 of a wicket. Jacob's not really played cricket at all. He's faced 250 balls in 4 months. Jamie Smith is utterly exhausted from keeping wicket all summer. Jamie Overton has barely batted. Gus Atkinson, he's a decent batter, but he's been out with an hamstring injury for the last 2 months. Suddenly, it looks like a side can go bang, bang, as Colo would say, bang, 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 bang.
It's out. It's the fear.
And that fear then comes, doesn't it? And so tonight, they have a chance to rest the fear. But I tell you what, the Indians have the chance to do is to rest surely some of the weariest legs. So they're going to come back tomorrow with fresh fast bowlers. I can't decide. I think it's 50-50. I think the heavy roller is a lovely theory. That may be the difference between the 2 sides. But because of the madness of this, and look at the sunshine.
We could still be playing. We could be playing.
It's
right
6:35. It's 7 minutes before they needed to get back out. And even then, why couldn't they just come back out at 7 anyway?
The Rossay sponge advertising that is quite damp. It would have taken.
Well, they'd use a super stopper. They'd use a super stopper. It'd be gone.
Do you know what it's time for though, Daniel?
I think I do.
It's time for the Noobru cricket giveaway.
Huzzah!
We're giving away a brand new Virat Kohli Genius King cricket bat, gloves and case, plus a year's supply of Noobru. I reckon a year's supply of Noobru would be like 700, 850 sachets, 2 a day.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
To enter, go to noobru.com/final word and purchase any or all of our 12 qualifying cricket Noobru products. Qualifying products will display how many entries each product will get you. The more you buy, the more entries you get. It's like your local raffle, or like when you went to one at primary school and you say to your mum and dad, can I buy 20 tickets? Because then I definitely win everything. It's the same here. Get your mum and dad to sign you up. What's more, the 15% discount for being a final word listener still applies. Today's featured product is Noobru Shield Cricket. Combat mental exhaustion with all natural stress-fighting ingredients.
God, I need that.
The smart choice to optimize your immune system, support cognitive function, and support stress resilience. Noobru Shield Cricket has over 3,000 verified reviews online with an impressive 4.9 stars out of 5 rating. Do you know what that means to me? Room for improvement. Come on, Noobru. Keep going. Tiny bit. The winners will be announced at the Wormsley cricket match on Monday, the 18th of August. You can go and get your tickets for that. You're going to see, you can go watch Adam Collins have a bowl. F&G, Flight and Guile. Disclaimer, this must be read. Noobru, Virat Kohli, failing. Virat Kohli Genius King cricket bat and gloves at giveaway. UK residents, it's 18 plus only. So if you're a child, get out of it. Not interested. Runs from the 22nd of July to the 18th of August. And the qualifying purchases earn entries automatically. Different products earn different entry amounts. But the more you buy, the more entries you get. No purchase necessary. Postal entries accepted. Full terms, noobru.com/final word. Yeah, there we go. Should we go to a break?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, we're back.
Hello.
That was riveting.
You've done really well there.
There's a lot.
I mean, that is basically like a Mohammed Siraj spell, that.
Yeah.
You put everything into it. You
absolutely
into work. You work yourself to the bone there.
Huge amounts of personal and professional pride. When it comes to everything, really. Yeah. And including the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Harry Brook.
Yeah.
A genius. So there is a famous rock climber called Alex Honnold.
Is he famous?
Yes, he is famous.
Never
And
heard
he
of
is
him.
famous for doing something called free solo climbing,
Okay,
which basically means you climb up a massive rock with no ropes.
you're an idiot.
If you fall, you die.
That's insane.
He is
Why
the
would
only
you do
person
that?
in the world to have free soloed this rock face called El Capitan, which is in Yosemite, and it's 1,000 meters high.
Oh, don't be stupid.
He's the only person who's ever
You're
done
giving
it.
me vertigo actually just thinking about this.
And they analysed his brain to understand how he comprehends risk and fear.
Yeah.
And the reason they realised he could do this is his brain doesn't work.
Oh, right, okay. I see where this is going now.
What's called the amygdala.
Yes, the
basically the
amygdala,
thing
yeah.
which makes you go scared, hot, fire,
Yeah,
bad,
mine's enormous.
run away.
Absolutely enormous.
His
mine.
just doesn't fire at all. It doesn't react to anything.
Wow.
So he's beyond the edge of a rock, 1,000 meters up, and he goes, "All right, why would I fall off this? I'll just keep walking up." There is a fine
you're
line
making me scared.
between genius and stupidity, and sometimes genius is stupidity with bells on. And I think that is Harry Brook's mantra. And it was no better encapsulated and summarised by the fact that after he was celebrating his 100, or at some point whilst he was getting a drink across his innings, the cameras picked up that he just, as he was having a swig of his drink, he'd popped his chewing gum out of his mouth and he stuck it behind his ear. And then after he was done with his drink, he reached behind his ear, got the chewing gum back and lobbed it back in.
I don't understand that point.
There you go.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't seem awfully risky to me. I thought the shot he played to get out was a bit more risky than
I
that.
think that was. Because it's weird. Hang on.
What?
Maybe this is a cultural difference between us. Would you store chewing gum behind your ear?
Well, I wouldn't ordinarily do it because it might slip off owing to me being a bit sweaty and slightly greasy.
So your issue
But I'm not
is a
against
practical
it.
issue as opposed to...
Yeah, I'm not against chewing gum behind the ear, you know. No, not. It's not a red line for me, no.
Oh, that's a shame.
Okay. I
you
mean,
wanna
I've
have one, then?
done crazier things than that.
I've never done anything like that.
Although, all right, okay. Well, when we're off air, I'll tell you the terrible thing I did coming back from Amsterdam.
I
Right.
don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
For me, it wasn't necessarily a funny day, was it? We've already covered the Mohammed Siraj drop catch, which might have been Hall of Fame worthy. But for me, there was a terrific piece of fancy footwork by Akash Deep.
Oh, my God. Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful. I mean, it genuinely was. You couldn't replicate it. It was like Maradona going past Dino Zoff. It was like, how he managed to flick it with one foot and knock it into the boundary with the other. I don't think if you asked him to do that 100 times, he could do it again with quite such brilliant precision. And that was the moment when everybody thought the wheels were falling off. The great thing about this Indian team is that when the wheels do fall off, somebody goes and collects them and then rebolts them to the carriage to Mohammed Siraj, who then comes bounding in.
You have another bowl, mate.
What a man! What a fighter! And what a man!
This has been the Final Word Daily. I've been Cameron. Daniel's been Daniel. I've got the... Oh, God. Go to noobru.com/final word, NOOBRU, and you'll be able to win a prize worth £1,600, a year's supply of Noobru, a cricket bat. We're going to be back tomorrow.
Good God, 25 dailies we're doing.
It will be over. It will be finished. It'll be the last time this Final Word Daily of this series will ever happen.
Apart from the mash-up the day after.
And just for a moment of self-indulgence and to test people who get to the very end, this is my last ever Final Word Daily in my 20s. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, because you're 30 soon, aren't you? You're having a birthday, which I wasn't invited to the party of.
You're still not invited to it.
No, I understand that.
I've been Cameron. Daniel's been Daniel. I've been 29. He's been 73. We'll see you tomorrow.